Well, if like me, when you saw that Netflix-esque Echo trailer, you thought that the grown-ups were back in the room, then, like me, you will be sorely disappointed. I have watched it, yes, all 5 episodes, kind of. I did start, full disclosure, I did start having a little fast forward through the last 4. The 5. I've watched it so you don't have to. Join me after the scroll. It will be spoilers, but I think you all know. To be fair, I think you all know what's going to happen, don't you? I kind of did. Join me after the scroll. Bonjour. So, where do we start? I'll tell you where we'll start before you answer. With my high hopes for this series. Yes, I know. Believe it or not, because I can hear you saying, what, you hog? Yes, me, I am. Believe it or not, I'm an eternal optimist. And I did say in my last Echo video, because of its association with Daredevil, I really, really want it to work. I really do. I want them to finally get some professional grown-ups to make some television for Marvel. I really do. And this isn't it. I'm sorry, guys. The first 10 minutes, after the first 10 minutes, I was even thinking, oh, wow, this is all right. It was just Echo as a kid. Let's find out who she is. Let's establish who her friends are, who her family is. And obviously I did say spoilers, so by the way, there are going to be spoilers, but I think if you know the character of Echo and you watched Hawkeye, which I didn't, I think you're going to know her origin story at least anyway. So yeah, we're introduced to everything we need, apart from 2 fundamentals really, which is why the Kingpin falls in love with her like it's so cringy. Why he takes her on as a daughter so willingly with no... I just don't know why he did it. Why did he do it? If anything, Kingpin should have wiped out her father's entire family. He should have just done it all. He done he made sure that the brake line in the car that they were travelling in was cut, so her mum couldn't. But she was in the van as well. So obviously he doesn't care who dies because guess what? He's a Kingpin. But no, for some reason he brings the girl up. We do find out how she's such a strong, powerful woman. From this weird spiritual Native American connection to power from somewhere. Don't know where. Isn't explained. It is essentially 5 episodes that should have been, or that was 8, not should have been 8, but was 8. And they've released all this together, like I said in my previous video, so I won't go over it, because they just want to pull off the band-aid and get this over and done with, because it really is a mess. If you haven't seen Hawkeye, there's a scene where Kingpin is just wandering around all beaten up. Well, there is a scene I do remember where he gets run over by a Mercedes doing about 30 miles an hour. I just couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through it. I don't know where I saw that scene, or whether that was, I don't know, or whether I saw that scene online or whatever. But if you haven't seen that, it just cuts, it just jumps from Echo being told, she's just told in the first episode, oh, Kingpin killed you. Surely that's a big reveal. The traitorous Kingpin that has ruled, that has controlled her life. And I will do a video on the comic, because like I said, the comic should have just been the storyboard. It was such an elegant story that wasn't heavy on the powerful women, the righteous women, and the naughty bad men all the way through it. There was good and bad in both sexes and all genders and all races and creeds. This one, believe it or not, guess what Disney do? Every woman in this series is righteous, and every bad guy is a white male. And I don't normally bang on about that aspect of it, but it's so glaringly obvious because they've gone down the Native American route and she is that character in the book. They've stuck with that, and they've stuck with Kingpin betraying her. Like I say, it was far more succinctly done in the comics. It should have just been the storyboard. They could have just rolled with that. But like I just said, they've got their agendas. Hopefully, there we go. It's that word again. Hopefully, this is the last one that they've carted out, because this was filmed before everything's hit the fan over at Disney and Marvel, and the films are bombing and the streaming's everything's bombing. So hopefully this is the last one, and obviously they've cleared the decks for Daredevil and they can move forward. As previously reported, the Daredevil fight scene, now we can see it in glorious high definition, is just as bad. It's just as bad. Nothing can hurt this girl. And throughout, I'm struggling to understand what makes her. She's in a superhero world. She was introduced in Hawkeye, superhero. All right, he's just a trained person. But he has got an unnatural ability for aiming at stuff. Otherwise, what's the point for Daredevil? I mean, all right, he has kind of got a superpower, but it's all these low-level stuff. But what's her shtick? We never get told, apart from in the last episode. Oh, her nan had a vision when she gave birth to her mum, and it leads to her mum having a power. And her mum that died in the first episode returns in the 5th episode to say, oh, you've got power as well. Your hands will glow. So what? So what? And the music. Wow. There's a tune that they've put to it. Every time Kingpin turns up, it is worth fast forwarding through, right, and looking at the picture, and stop at every time Kingpin turns up, right, because the little tune they've got, the dun, 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 music, it reminded me of the character in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, who is he's working on, he is a musician on a primetime TV series. When he breaks up at the beginning of the film, when he breaks up with Sarah Marshall and he's got the amp at work and he's on the keyboard and he goes dick, 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 he just does something stupid to go with the film of his girlfriend who's in the programme behind him. I don't know if any of you remember this, but anyway, the bloke at the mic in the booth in the studio just goes, just do the usual, just keep it dark and mysterious. And his head goes down like that and he plods on. The music for Kingpin just reminded me of someone saying to the composer or the musician, just keep it dark and mysterious. Oh my God, only dismal. And they love a train scene. There's a lovely train scene in it. Absolutely stupidly pathetic, because we like I say, we don't know what her powers are. I don't know if they were established in Hawkeye. In the comics, they were established quite early on, but this girl just seems to, or this woman just seems to be able to jump off trains onto pickups, take a beating from Daredevil, and that's in the first episode. And you don't see him no more, by the way. So don't. Like I say, I've watched this, so you don't have to. If you're expecting a little bit more Daredevil, I've got to admit I was. But it's out in Oklahoma, so you won't. No, it's not in New York. So that's that. But they love a train scene, and somehow she can just goes from she can make bombs, and she's like MacGyver. Do you remember that old series MacGyver, who got trapped every week, every episode? But that was his thing, right? That's how that was his kind of super. That's why we tuned in. How's he going to get out of this one? And he'd build something wherever he was trapped. He would build something to escape. Yay, MacGyver. That was 40 years ago. This woman, oh my God, but apart from her superpowers, her super strength, the only thing she is deaf, right? Which is a disability that should enhance your other senses, which is kind of like what they leaned into with the comic, which led to her being able to mimic. And I think they did go there. I think my old mate Space Lizard said something about mimicking, because I think he watched Hawkeye. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about all of that element, because like I said, I didn't watch Hawkeye and I don't want to. And I'm not going to go back to that to research what we do and don't know, because this series, in and of itself, should have introduced us properly. Her name is on the title, and it should have had. We should have known. After the end of that first episode, nice cliffhanger to lead us into to the second one, and we should have known what she's about, what she's up to, and what she can and can't do. What she can't do. Well, she can't. There isn't anything she can't do, because she is a Native American woman. So, if she was a Native American man, then she'd have flaws. And you know what? That would then make her, whatever, a more interesting character. The only flaw she's got is she finds it hard to smile. Which, again, it's annoying when there's nothing you can cling on to. Normally when you have such a laconic character like that, like in Blue Eye Samurai, which was I've recently watched, she is a very, very unlikable main character. There's nothing you can cling. But what they do is surround you with colourful, interesting characters that bounce off her. And in this, there kind of is like Biscuits. Biscuit, where's he come from? There's just a scene where he turns up. She's gone back home after 20 years. This bloke turns up, and she goes, Biscuits. And I thought, well, where's Biscuits? He's just there. I don't know. Unless I missed something. I blinked and missed something. We saw her childhood. Her and Bonnie. It was established. Like I say, the first 10 minutes with her mate and her parents and all that, spot on. You are thinking, oh my God, someone who knows how to make a TV series has made this, because we're getting a bit of information here. I know that we don't want to be told everything, but there's got to be some kind of establishment. There's got to be, otherwise all you're doing is make it. What's the classic? Keep the audience thinking. No, keep the audience thinking, but you must establish some rudimentary facts for us to follow the trail through. If you're going to keep us guessing, give us a mystery, fine, brilliant. But that will require, I would say, first of all, talented, secondly, imaginative, and thirdly, probably experienced TV series creators. And it's still lacking. We are still well and truly in the MCU with this. We're well and truly. There's just nothing. Yeah, there's just nothing for No, and if it and it is a mess, and it will be called a mess. I think if this is one video you're watching and you're seeking out other people to slate it from a different way, I think the one word you're going to hear a lot is a mess, and this is a mess. And again, it doesn't embrace what it is. Essentially, all this superhero stuff, because she isn't really a superhero in this, because she's just a woman that can just, like I say, take a beating, jump off a train, do anything she wants, ride a motorbike. What else does she do that I thought, well, how does she know how to do that? I mean, if the story required flying a helicopter, she would know how to do it because she was trained by the Kingpin when she was a kid. Just lets her do anything. That allows anything. Anyway, old Kingpin, the actor D'Onofrio, he's wasted, obviously. Wasted. He is Kingpin, no. He's Kingpin. You do see a little spark there. And it's such a shame. And the Native American guy who was also in The Last of Us, and he's been around the block all the time. He's always great. Just these great actors, and the woman who plays his wife, you know, and there's a couple of scenes that do bring a warmth to it, but we needed more of that. We needed more of them on the line, because you know it's going to lead to the ending. Yeah, I don't mind that. Look how many comics I read. And if you read books, whatever it is you read, you know there are only a few endings. You know there are only a few story tropes. So you I'm not expecting high-end kind of thought-provoking TV, but the hokey way they deal with the ending. Oh God. It's like, you know, it's like what an 8-year-old would consider adult drama. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. Because you just know she's great and she'll overcome anything. At one point, she was doing her own stitches. She gets shot, but it's a straight line. And she's doing her own stitches with T-floss. Obviously, Kingpin told her how to do that. And the kid, but just on D'Onofrio, he is a good actor. The woman who plays Echo isn't a bad actress. She isn't. And as I've always said, a lot of the time, it isn't down to the acting, but even the best actor in the world with what they're given, you can't rise above it. I would defy any actor or actress to rise above the drivel. I mean, dialogue-wise, having said that, it wasn't just overall storyline. How do I sum it up? Overall storyline predictable. A disjointed mess. Awful music that just took you straight out, particularly the Kingpin tune. If I knew that Disney wouldn't get my video struck off, I would have to play the tune. Maybe I'll try and get a little. No, I ain't gonna bother. I ain't gonna waste no more time on this crap. Just go and check it out. Just go and check out the tune. It isn't worth it. To be fair, it isn't worth subscribing to Disney Plus just to get that. But if you've already got it, just fast forward to a couple of Kingpin scenes just to listen to the. On that note, before I go, thank you to everyone, my sexy subscribers, every single one of you. Thank you so much. And if you saw the show, what do you think? Let me know. Get involved. Give me a comment. And if you did like it, listen, if you did like it, probably you haven't reached the end of this video and you've just disliked my video and moved on. But if you're this far and you wanted to hear what other people are saying, let me know what you enjoyed about it. I'm not, I have said, to be fair, I normally say I don't tell people not to watch it, but I've got to admit, I don't see what anyone gains from this. I don't. Maybe you know, it must add up to about 2.5 hours, I suppose, without all them credits as usual. I suppose it must add up to 2.5 hours of something. What I will say before I go is it isn't the worst Marvel show I've seen. At least I got through it. So, you know, that's enough. That's all the sweet corn I can find in this particular Disney turd. So until next time, adios.